And we are live. I'm going to pull up my browser for a bit because we are going to start off the stream by going over some more lost animations that I made when I was, oh my gosh, 13. Man. Yeah, some of the first videos uploaded to this channel. But after that, we are going to be building sets for the Popeye project. So we have filmed a bunch of the characters. I mean, it's probably easier to show you on the project. I'll just pull that up right quick. What's going on, everyone? Okay, here we are. Yeah. So it's like, as you can see from the footage that we've already captured here, where the heck are you? Yeah, it's like we have a bunch of these assets already, but they need backgrounds. They need, oh wait, did we film this yesterday? Oh no, I filmed this stuff last night. I'm also gonna turn off my air conditioner because I don't want that white noise. Not at all. I had it running for like a couple streams, and it was such an atrocious. But yeah, so we have these backgrounds, or these animations that have blue screens and green screens. They need to have backgrounds put in. Some of the stuff that we filmed like a couple weeks ago. Oops. Yeah. The stuff on the ship, the different crew members. This guy needs a background. The trio of strings needs a background. Popeye, yeah. So we're gonna get into that, but first, we're gonna pull up one of our old animations. I'll kind of just to kind of get the night started. There we go. Also gives like a little bit of time for people to pop in. Oh my gosh. I haven't watched this in so long. Like this animation right here was like I had just gotten the Jurassic World sets that came out because the first Jurassic World was out. And I made this animation oh man, with some other set pieces from Brick Bob Films, just stuff that I ordered on eBay, some vintage Lego sets. But let's pull it up. Hopefully the YouTube copyright will be kind to me. I don't think they made a Lego Dennis Nedry, so I just made my own. Just a guy with glasses, black hair. Buck Brothers, what's up? Inkspot, how you doing? I mean, yeah, so this was the same table, the same set that I was filming those old episodes of Brick Bob Films at. I have the table right here, and it was like one of my first streams. Someone mentioned like, didn't you make a scene from Jurassic Park with the Dilophosaurus? And I said yes, and I ran over to the closet. I still have the Dilophosaurus right here. My gosh. It's it's so funny how big these Lego characters look on camera. They are not big in real life. Like, do any of you guys remember this animation if you've been around this long? Oh wait, I think his shirt is backwards. I had like it's like some kind of a sweater. But, oh wow. Wait, look at the lighting on that shot. I mean, this whole project, it's got, like, this is some harsh lighting. Like, wait, like these shadows and the way that, like, the really bright white just hits the tip of these rocks. Yeah, it's just one of my old brick films. You know what it was? It was like I got these Lego Jurassic World sets, and I think I was just so freaking excited that one of them came with the Dilophosaurus that I was like, I need this to be in an animation. Because when I was a little kid, this was my favorite scene in the whole movie, and the Dilophosaurus was my favorite dinosaur from Jurassic Park. There was like I had a Jurassic Park game. It was the first video game I ever played. First video game, Jurassic Park Dinosaur Battles, 2001, developed for Windows 2000 and Windows XP, not console. The Dilophosaurus was not a playable character. He was only a villain. And it's just like, it was, I just always loved the Dilophosaurus. But this scene, especially, I was so excited that I had the official Lego Dilophosaurus to remake it. Inkspot, which dinosaur from Jurassic Park 3? Well, that's funny. So obviously the frill is already out, so I just changed the lighting, made it darker. It's funny because we did talk about Jurassic Park one night in one of my streams. Gosh. Very harsh lighting. Oh, and the lighting changed again. It's just clay. Naturally. The Barbazal. Oh, what the? Okay, I guess I added that in. The Dilophosaurus climbing up the rock and getting into the car. Oh wait, he's not in the car. Oh, kind of is. No way could he fit. That's so funny. Oh, and then I just kind of have it. I guess I just kind of make the camera go down into darkness. But like, yeah, just it's so interesting, like, especially since I'm still making films today, seeing those little decisions that are made, those little creative liberties, or even just stuff like the way that I film it, the composition, the lighting, just seeing those little decisions made by child you are very fascinating. So this is supposed to be at night. So it's like I just gave it a black backdrop. Just got 2 pieces of black paper. The Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3 is the most hated dinosaur? Really? So I will say one thing about Jurassic Park 3 is there's some like really good animatronics in that film. Like the the puppets are like beautiful looking, and they had a T-Rex and a Spinosaurus animatronic in that film, and they look really good. Another funny thing about this animation is like the whole joke in the movie is that the Dilophosaurus is so small and not threatening compared to the other dinosaurs. But here he's freaking enormous. He's like 3 times his size. Oh, the shirt isn't backwards. Oh yeah, this shot was pretty crazy. Look at the lighting here. I wonder what I was using at the time. That's interesting. I mean, yeah, the Spinosaurus, it was like on the poster, like the Jurassic Park logo. They replaced the T-Rex with the Spinosaurus. You know, new dinosaur and stuff like that. More threatening. That was before we got the Indominus Rex, the beginning of the end. Yeah. I like don't have a whole lot to say about this particular animation. It's just like a cute like, oh, I got my new Jurassic World Lego set and I just wanted to do something with it, you know? But then I had some like, I'm not going to talk about all these, but this one's really short, so I'm going to do this one too. I have another movie scene remake, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan, General Grievous. But let's take a look at this. I still have that T-Rex, I think. Man, just lost the mustache. Oh yeah. It's a pretty accurate toad, I gotta say. Wait, what? Wait, is there no like text? I think the idea was that, okay, well, the idea is that the toad is saying like, oh, your princess is in another castle. And then Mario gets mad and then does something with that thing that he was holding. We are on YouTube. Yeah, the Jurassic series just so ridiculous. Yeah, so I had this like this Lego T-Rex thing that I used for SB129, which I eventually made. But I did have these Lego Jurassic Park 3 sets. There was one that came with a Spinosaurus. It looked absolutely nothing like the one in the movie. And there was also another one that I got that had velociraptors that also barely resembled velociraptors. And I used one of them as the sea bear in the camping episode. I'm going to show you what these look like because I don't think I have these anymore. I think I sold these on eBay. But here we go. Wait, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen for. Wait, actually, hold on a second. Let's just do this. Lego. Like I've never heard anyone talk about these. Yeah, this Lego Studios. I had this like crane machine too. Yeah, I mean, the rest of the body is like okay, but oh my gosh, the face is not what the Spinosaurus. You can see what the Spinosaurus looks like here for reference. Yeah, I mean, I said this before in one of my previous streams. It was like the first Jurassic Park obviously is amazing, but I hated the sequel so much when I was a kid. I thought it was so boring. And I like Jurassic Park 3. Even today, I like Jurassic Park 3. Not because I think it's a good movie, but because you have Sam Neill in it as Dr. Alan Grant. And the characters in that movie are so stupid, like so dumb. It's like a Halloween slasher movie. That's how like dumb the characters are in that movie. But but Dr. Grant, Sam Neill is so good. It's literally like if you took the character out of the first movie and put him in Jurassic Park 3. He is amazing. And he's also like, yeah, this is total bullshit. Like he gets dragged to the dinosaur island, doesn't even want to. Even he thinks everyone is stupid. And it's like he's like suffering along with you in the movie. Yeah, I never went to the Lego Studios website. I never saw that. Also, so if you could not tell, these are the Velociraptors. Very, very rough. This was what I used for the sea bear in the camping episode. But the funny thing is, just a little extra bit of detail. Don't you love how the Velociraptors have the exact same head mold as the pterodactyl? Like they don't like, excuse me? Oh man. I was so spoiled with Legos in comparison. Yeah, this is what the Velociraptors look like. Gosh, they're aren't they unsettling looking? They're so creepy looking. I can't say exactly what they look like the heads, like some kind of reptile maybe, but yeah, it's just not good. It's not doing it. Then of course, I was spoiled a bit by the Jurassic World sets when they came out. We just watched an animation. I'm still talking about Jurassic Park. I kept the sets for a really long while, but they were just taking up a lot of space, and I couldn't find a lot of opportunities to integrate them into Brick Bob Films whenever I was making Brick Bob Films. So I didn't keep it. I sold a lot of them, but I did keep the Dilophosaurus, obviously. Actually, I do have the Jeep. I believe it's over there. I like to organize my stuff, and I have like a dedicated drawer for vehicles. I could probably find it. I think it's in there. Wait, do I still have it? Oh, wait. Maybe not. I don't like selling Legos very much because they're annoying to ship. You know? They're really annoying to ship. I mean, you just kind of need plastic bags for it, but like, have to disassemble it. I thought I had the Jeep. Maybe not. Geist Phoenix, if I'm not mistaken, the song you might be thinking of is from Conker's Bad Fur Day. It's the song that plays when Conker rolls down the hill on the barrel. I think the song's literally called Mr. Barrel. Conker's Bad Fur Day, Mr. Barrel might be what you're thinking of. Anyway, I don't have a lot to say about this animation. This is just like a Mario parody. So that was another corner of YouTube that I grew up with a lot when I was a kid, was I would watch Mario parodies on YouTube, and a lot of them were, like, really inappropriate looking back. There was, like, oh man, this is just a whole other corner of YouTube. A lot of them were animated with sprites, and a lot of them were, just parodying the formula of the Mario games, gets to the castle, and then I'm trying to think of, he unalives the toad because, oh, the princess isn't there or something like that. But yeah, a lot of them were very crude. And it was so funny because sometimes they would have voice acting in them, and you could tell that it was like the 15-year-old that animated it in Australia was like voicing Mario. It was really funny. But yeah, a lot of these animations I made, like, that are in this playlist are like, these black objects that they're holding. Sorry, I'm on YouTube. Don't want to, just things, bang, 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 things blowing up. That was what I was a kid. Boom, 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 explosions, action, fighting, all that stuff. That's what I wanted to do. Something that I couldn't do on Brickbop Films. Dorkly, that name doesn't ring a bell. There were so many. Yeah. No, it's interesting. It's like, to me, this is like extra Brickbob Films content. Like, if you ever go back and revisit some of, I guess, the golden or silver age of Brickbob Films, and just watch those animations, like, I'm sure there's like amusement. There is enjoyment to be found in, like, yes, these animations are made by the same person on the same table with the same tools around the same time. It's kind of like, it's like extra content, I guess. But I never uploaded any of this stuff to the Brickbob Films YouTube channel. I always wanted to keep them separate. I didn't want to mix them together and stuff. But I'm going to open up my stop motion program. Lethal Lord, welcome back. Good to see you. Yeah, we were just going over some old animations that I made when I was like, oh my gosh, 13 or something like that. Yeah, I had gotten I had gotten the new Jurassic World Lego sets at the time, and I wanted to make an animation with my Lego Dilophosaurus, because the Dilophosaurus was my favorite when I was a kid. Yeah, I did end up selling those Lego dinosaurs in those sets, but I kept the Dilophosaurus. Yeah, when I made those animations, I was 13. I made them summer 2015, so I would have been 13. Yeah, a lot of those animations in that playlist are from the same time period. Lego Ninja was like 2012. Secret Agent or Secret Mission, that was like 2012, 2013. But the other ones were pretty much around the same time. I made them like all back to back. Juggle, do you mean like knew that I made animations, or that I made specifically those animations? Yeah. My desk is such a mess right now because the thing about working with this clay is that because every color has to be stored separately, every time I want to work with another color, I have to pull out the whole blob. And I'm always going to great lengths to keeping it all separate because I love to reuse this stuff. Some of this clay I've been using almost, my gosh, like 9 years now. But yeah. Oh yeah, my friends knew that I made animations, and I used to go over to my friends' houses and either play with Legos or make Lego animations using like I had friends that had iPods, not even iPhones, just iPods. And we would make animations together with our Lego Pirates or Knights or Star Wars stuff. I remember one time me and my friend, we said that we were going to make all 6 Star Wars movies using the original Lego sets. Like we were going to buy them on eBay and we were going to do that. Of course, we never did. I think it was really just an excuse for us to try and collect our favorite vintage Lego Star Wars sets. But yeah. Burger Motion, how you doing? Yeah, Ink Spot, I'm 24. Yeah, I like normally I probably wouldn't say how old I am, but it's also public record. It's like public knowledge. Like I've said it in like previous videos and stuff like that. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, the clay can get kind of dirty on the outside, and that drives me crazy. And anything and everything can and will stick to the clay, which drives me crazy. Yeah, it would have been I think it would have been a lot of fun. But fortunately there was no shortage of like cool Lego Star Wars content on early YouTube. Like the fans did some really cool stuff with that. Hey, I'm good, Burger Motion. It's good to have you back. Yeah, so we're going to be working on some just set pieces that have to be composited into the rest of the animation footage we have so far. I'm also going to turn on my work clock. So the way that this works is like, so all of the rest of these characters were filmed on a blue screen, and I'm going to take pictures of these sets. I'm going to light them and everything. I like to get the lighting on camera. I don't want to have to do that much stuff in post. So it's almost like the perspective, the size, the proportions. I'm going to be building everything around the footage that I've already captured. Because for an animation like this, I was never planning on building like a giant set. Yeah, there was like Clay Fighter had a big set that I filmed on. But even then, not the entire animation took place in that set. And it was it had to be disassembled. Yeah, this working with this clay is very messy. You're always keeping it separated, so you just get bits and pieces everywhere. Yeah, so ink spot, I have so this right here, This is hair gel. I have a bunch of this. I got a whole bunch of it because I wanted to use it for animations, like try and do water effects, but it just, I don't know. I haven't used a lot of it yet. I do use it for like tears and stuff like that. I like how crystal clear it is, and it holds its form pretty well. It's just, yeah, I haven't really busted it like a ton of it out. I use it for mainly like tears. It actually does appear in this animation, like at the end, Popeye, like he has tears in his eyes when he's like looking at the sky. Hold on a second. I'm trying to find a reference photo. Yeah, like for the ocean, like the ocean isn't clear. Like that's kind of the tough thing. It's like the clay, like everything in the animation is made out of clay. It's all opaque, solid colors. So you have to make that decision of like, okay, you're going to do water. Are you going to depict it as clear, or are you going to make it like an opaque blue or light blue or something like that? I think like just those little decisions. Uh, because I think that the ocean has color to it, and you can't see beyond the surface in the ocean. It's so dark. Yeah, so like we have this guy in the corner here. I'm just gonna have to make just a little, just some information around him to just kind of give him a set to inhabit. Of course, there's also the light, which I'll do last. It's just like making these little set pieces. Some of these I already have from previous streams. Josiah, welcome back. Yeah, so with Kubo, I mean, that's the really cool thing about stop motion is depending, like you can really do anything you want for the water. Water is notoriously difficult because of just the physics and how continuous water is by nature. I don't think it comes as any surprise that like a lot of stop motion films will avoid water. But like even the adventures of Mark Twain, which we've talked about in a previous stream, that had clay water and it looked good. And you can see that it's all like being moved by hand. And that was something that I did for the Clay Fighter project. So if you go over to the Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut musical, at the beginning, when the camera pans down to the island, you can see the ocean around the island. And like, I remember I created little ripples in the blue clay to show the waves. And I put in little bits of white at the shore to show like the foam from the water, just to kind of give the water like a bit more texture. You know what I mean? And it looked great. Shoot, you know what? I'm gonna pull that up now. Because now I gotta show you guys what I mean. I forgot to turn on the work clock. My bad. It's not a big deal. We haven't been going that long. Where the heck is my browser? I'm gonna pull this up really quick.
Got the late night munchies.
Yeah, we got a late night ad. All right. I'll take a look. You guys see that? Okay, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna adjust the speed too, just so we can bask in it for a while. Hello? Controls. If I ever filmed outside, not animation, not that I can think of off the top of my head. Yeah, you guys see that? Like, just so this was filmed at 24 frames per second. And what I'm doing is I think I was doing 2 exposures for every water movement. The water's not, I'm not moving the water manually every single frame. Because then it would be like bleh, you know, it would be like just too much. It would look like the water's boiling, you know? Did I don't think I had any more like water throughout the rest of this. No. Anyway, you get the idea. That was like a water effect that I learned from watching like The Adventures of Mark Twain, because the very like opening scene, one of the opening scenes in that film, Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn are like in a pond and the water looks great. Yeah, what's really, really special about where the heck? What's really special about The Adventures of Mark Twain is like that movie, everything is clay in that movie. But for every single frame, the clay and the sculpting fidelity, it never wanes. Like the detail in that movie is absolutely mind-blowing. Everything. Like that's a one-of-a-kind movie. Yeah, Burger Motion. So Clay Fighter 2 is actually my favorite Clay Fighter. And I've always wanted to make another animation based on Clay Fighter 2. Like, you know, I made Tiny working at McDonald's. I've made Nanaman. And those were a lot of fun, but I always wanted to do more. Yeah, the tricky thing about Clay Fighter is that because Clay Fighter being what it is and the visual look of the series, small idea for a Clay Fighter inspired animation, very, very quickly the production can become very, very complex. Like even animating one Clay Fighter character would be complex. So I animated Blob a couple years ago, if you guys have seen that animation. And that was very complex. I think I animated that in one evening. But yeah, And that was just animating there wasn't even a set for that animation. Yeah. So if I wanted to do a clay fighter claymation with like plot and stuff like that, very quickly the production will just go way up. And that's kind of the main dilemma that I have with my work, is that very quickly a simple production can become a very complex, time consuming, production heavy venture. And once again, it's for characters that I don't own, and I can't put it into film festivals. At least I don't think so. As we have seen in the past, Interplay is very particular about protecting their intellectual property, Clay Fighter. But yeah, it's like I figure that if I, especially like because I do this for work, if I am going to do all of that work, it might as well be either going to a bigger project, something that's bigger than just me, or I got to be getting paid, you know? Yeah, Inkspot, Danger Productions, Danger Studios, I think it was. Bump in the Night is good. Very, very cute show. Very 90s. There was also like another series that I watched called like The Trap Door. Yeah, The Trap Door. I think it was British. But yeah, it was a clay animation, like Blue Man and his pet. They live in like a dungeon, and there's a trap door where all types of interesting characters come out and they interact with them and stuff like that. I need to rewatch that though. It has been years since I've looked at that. Same thing with Bump in the Night. So I kind of have my camera off to the side, and my camera is facing at a weird angle that I don't normally do. But I want to be able to kind of just have my own little workstation here without having to reach over the camera. So this is just how I'm doing it. Burger Motion, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but easier said than done. But I'm hoping that the more work that I do here on YouTube and the more that I share here on YouTube, I can eventually build a large enough following where my viewership and my audience alone can support me, not just by viewing, but by like becoming a member on the channel. So actually, I do have a Patreon. Oh, by the way, for anyone watching, please go become a member of my Patreon. You can become a member for free. I do want to build I want my community to have somewhere to go that's not on YouTube. Because like localizing my entire presence online to just my YouTube is just not something that I want to do, because people have something can go wrong and YouTube can like they could delete my channel. Like they could do that with anyone's channel whenever, and no one ever sees it coming. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's like, so I have Patreon right now, and but yeah, so it's like, but no, you can join for free if you want. So YouTube, they have channel memberships, but I need to look into that a bit more. If anything, like channel memberships directly on YouTube, I think could be like a cool little way. Like, okay, it's like a Patreon, except, maybe some people prefer to do their memberships directly on YouTube without having to go to another platform. Yeah, there's so many different tools online nowadays, and it's just about just finding which tools. It's not about using every single tool, being super active on every single social media platform. It's about being active on the right social media platforms. Because when because I used to do the thing where I was like, oh, I have to be super active on every single social media platform: Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Patreon, Kara, Blue Sky, just all of them. Wherever there are people, I got to be active on there. But now I'm just like, no, come on. Yeah. There's no point, like when you're an independent, when you're operating as an independent, you don't have to spread yourself that thin, you know? Yeah, it adds a little bit of depth. Yeah, Ink Spot, it was like I was there. I was trying to do every single social media platform. It's like it's a lot of grind, but then after a while I was like, am I really going to find people, like a huge community of people that are enthusiastic about animation on Twitter? Like, absolutely, there are people who love animation on Twitter, or maybe Kara, which is like a newer app. I don't know if anyone even really uses Kara. I made an account, but I have not posted in a really long time. Yeah, that's like kind of the tough part about social media, is that these really big apps are they have such a large footprint in the overall internet space that there really hasn't, at least I don't think there have been any successful attempts to really challenge, like, for instance, someone competing with YouTube, creating a platform that rivals YouTube. There have been rivaling platforms. I'm not saying there haven't, but none of them lasted. I don't know if they either got bought out or if they just weren't getting enough traction or something like that. Yeah, DeviantArt, I never did. We've talked about Newgrounds before. I never did Newgrounds. I was always on YouTube. Dude, I'll never forget when I made my YouTube account, Brick Bob Films, when I was a little kid and I made my YouTube account. I was always getting notifications about Google Plus. How many of you guys remember Google Plus? Anyone? Does anyone remember Google Plus? Okay, you remember Google Plus. So like Google Plus, I cannot, to this day, I cannot tell you what Google Plus was supposed to be about. I think it was like if you wanted to make a YouTube account, you had to have a Google Plus account. And for years, I would do stuff on Brick Bob Films, making my YouTube videos and stuff like that. And I would always get notifications being like, you have this many followers on Google Plus. You have this many followers on Google Plus. These many people, I don't know, subscribe to you on Google Plus. And I never once opened Google Plus. Never. I don't even remember how many total followers I had. It was a decent chunk as far as Google Plus goes. Yeah, like I made the YouTube account so I could do YouTube. I was not and I did not know anyone else who was logging onto Google Plus. Like, what? Hold on a second. Yeah, Google Plus, for years, I would get notified all the time about my Google Plus account, getting followers and like this many people connected with you on Google Plus. And then one day I got an email saying that, oh, Google Plus is shutting down. And I was like, oh, what? And I go onto the web and I'm looking at these articles, people saying, oh, Google Plus is shutting down. And I'm like, oh, wow. That thing that I've just been a part of and never logged onto once is finally going away. It's like the it's like the trash took itself out. Yeah, there was another thing that Google did. So this was on YouTube actually. I got notified saying that YouTube was integrating like a messenger system or something like that. There was a messenger thing. I don't think it lasted very long because I distinctly remember I had 2 messages in my YouTube messages inbox. The first one was welcome to YouTube messages. And the second one was YouTube messages is going away. I'm just like, wow. It's like the trash took itself out. Yeah, I don't know what Rumble is. Isn't Rumble like live streaming or something? Yeah, there's way too many social media apps to be chasing all of them. The internet is so vast that I would rather just it's not about trying to get every single person to see my work. It's about getting the right people to see my work. Because fame on the internet is like anyone can get that now, you know? Anyone can make a viral TikTok without even trying and get millions of views on TikTok. I'll never forget when I was going to college for a bit, there were kids in my college where I would hear like, oh, this kid was in a famous TikTok. And it's like a TikTok that has maybe a few million views. And I'm like, what? TikTok famous? Like, TikTok has a very big monthly viewership. Is getting a few million views famous for TikTok? So like me, for instance, I got one TikTok that got like 15 million views. Am I TikTok famous? I don't think I am. And even if I was, like, what does that do for me? It's like, great, people are seeing my stuff, but what am I supposed to do with this? Yeah, I don't like TikTok either. I legit only got TikTok to share stuff on it and just kind of get the word out. But other than that, I've never just went onto TikTok and swiped through TikToks. Once again, I stay away from social media as much as I can, besides filming. James, how you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, so Vimeo's another thing that I have, but Vimeo is like, it's like very low maintenance. I mean, unless you have a subscription for it, I'll say it right now, I cannot foresee myself anytime soon paying for Vimeo, because I have seen other animators use it as a professional like portfolio. Like I do think it's good at that, but I can't see myself paying for it. But yeah, I host a small portfolio there too. What's my all-time least favorite project that I've done? Wow. That's a good question because I've never thought about it. Least favorite project. There has to be one. So I don't think any episodes of Brick Bob Films would really count, because the thing is I've just made so many episodes of Brick Bob Films that it's like, yeah, there are ones that I really remember and ones that I will always look back on making as like a really triumphant, exhilarating experience. But there's also, I've made over 100 of those things. So there's just so many where I'm like, I've forgotten all about them. I think I would like to do like some more streams in the future where I go back and revisit episodes of Brick Bob Films. But first, I would want to rally some viewers over from the Brick Bob Films YouTube channel to join in on the fun. I think that could be a really fun community experience. YouTube playables. I'm not ringing a bell off the top of my head. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I forgot who I was talking about this with, but when I was making clay Kremling videos, there was a competitor to YouTube called VidMe. Do any of you guys remember VidMe? So there was a competitor to YouTube called VidMe. It had like, I mean, the interface wasn't bad from what I remember. It had like a decent interface, all the bells and whistles that you would really want from a competitor to YouTube. Nice little community. And what I did on VidMe was I made 2 accounts. I made one for Clay Kremling, and I was uploading videos. I was uploading Clay Kremling videos to VidMe, coinciding with their release over on this channel, over on YouTube. So while I was making episodes of Clay Kremling, I was uploading to VidMe. I actually mentioned subscribe to my YouTube and check out my VidMe in some of my episodes. And it was fine. And I also made a Brick Bob Films channel where I was re-uploading pretty much my whole library of episodes, and I scheduled for each one of them to come out every week. I was just trying to make a bigger footprint, put stuff out there. But it didn't last. And after I did VidMe for I don't know, maybe a few years, they shut down willy-nilly. But what happened was years, and I mean years after VidMe's closure, I got a comment on one of my episodes of Clay Kremling informing me that one of my links was redirecting to adult entertainment. I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube without getting demonetized. Oh well. Unmonetizable now. But anyway, yeah. So one of my links was going to adult material, and I was like, what? So I went over to the link. I'm clicking on all of them, and I clicked on the VidMe link, and that was the link that went to the adult entertainment. And I was like, oh my God, I put this link in every, like, almost a bunch of uploads from the time. So of course, I went throughout the entire channel and got rid of the link. And recently I was just thinking about that story. I'm like, yeah, it was so bizarre. I wonder why that happened. Because I was thinking about VidMe, and I looked up VidMe, and I went over to the Wikipedia article for VidMe. And in the article, there is a whole section talking about how there's a paragraph that said that at some point, like the domain or the link or whatever was bought by an adult entertainment site. So yeah, there's mention of it at the Wikipedia if you want to go look at that. So I was like, okay, I wasn't crazy. YouTube playables. I might have. I must have heard the name YouTube Playables, but I never interacted with it. Here's another little weird YouTube thing. Do any of you guys remember YouTube Red? So YouTube Red was YouTube Premium before it was called YouTube Premium. I believe it was functionally the same. It was called YouTube Red. Very, very bizarre name, by the way. People would joke that the name YouTube Red also resembled an adult entertainment site. This has been a very naughty stream so far. I'm not gonna lie. Just every subject leads to adult entertainment. But yeah, so it was called YouTube Red, and one of the things that they were doing to, like, I guess, drive subscriptions for YouTube Red was they were doing original programming. So I remember Matt Pat from Game Theory, he had his own YouTube Red series, and the Game Grumps had their own YouTube Red series. I remember watching the pilot for Matt Pat's thing. I forgot what it was called. Anyway, not important. And I also watched the first episode of Game Grumps YouTube Red series. I think it was called Good Game. And there was a guy named Lorenzo in it, and I was like, these people stole my name. I don't believe it. If only they knew. I didn't get a cut. Clearly, I'm the only Lorenzo alive. There were probably a bunch of other YouTubers that got the same treatment, but I cannot think of any other YouTubers that, like Red Series. Guys Phoenix, what you're referring to is Boss Punch Bowl from Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. That was the song I used. Yeah, a lot of the songs from Brick Bob Films is just video game music that I heard growing up. Yeah, James. Lorenzo Music. I like that show. Yeah, I watched Garfield growing up. I loved the Halloween special when I was a kid. I loved that Halloween special. It was so creepy. It was so fun. Oh, that's interesting. James, I think I do remember when Cobra Kai like debuted on YouTube. Oh, that's so bizarre. But yeah, that does ring a bell. I didn't know that they had a film production studio. I mean, they must have had some kind of like talent agency. There was because YouTube, they probably still don't do this, but I remember they would do YouTube Rewind, and people would complain about like how cringy they were. They were really cringe, really bad, overproduced, really missing the mark. Like people would complain that, well, particularly in the last few years of YouTube Rewind, I don't know if they still do it or how long they were doing it for, but it was like I only knew about it because like I would see some YouTubers do commentaries on it, and it was like a weird like corporate view of what like a bunch of rich corporate suits think YouTube is like, you know? There's definitely a disconnect between, a dilemma between the whole corporate side of YouTube and the creator side of YouTube. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. Wasn't 2019, wasn't that the most disliked video on YouTube? Or on the internet, period? Because I thought they made like a response video to it. Like I think didn't like the CEO at the time. Oh, 2018. Yeah, I thought that the CEO at the time, the then CEO, was like she recorded for it, like apologizing or something. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I like really don't care enough to have devoted brain power to remembering. Yeah, I remember Will Smith showed up and was like, Fortnite in Marquez Brownlee, who's a person that exists, apparently. I don't know who they are. Dude, it's so funny because it's like I've always felt like an outdated old grandpa when it comes to all things the internet, despite the nature of my work. So I try and touch grass whenever I can, be one with nature. Just enjoy things off the internet, because it's like so many of the things that we do nowadays just require us to be on the internet. And I'm just like even something like this, something like working with the clay, just feeling it on my hands and smelling it. Like just the other night, I was just chilling over on my couch, and I could smell the clay in the air. Hold on a second. This stuff smells so wonderful. I don't mean literally touching grass. I mean just like going outside, but to each their own. The term touching grass can be interpreted in multiple ways these days, I think. Yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned Watch Mojo, because it's like, I'll never forget when I was like maybe like a teenager, early teens, tweens, or something like that. I would subscribe to a lot of countdown channels. And just one day, I opened up my YouTube subscriptions, and I'm like, this is not something that I do often. I like rarely watch people who are in my subscription stuff, because I try not to be glued to the internet all the time. But like, I opened up my subscriptions and I'm looking at the channels that I'm subscribed to. I'm like, what? I'm curious what my subscription profile looks to me. I was a kid, and I look in almost every channel, like the majority of channels that I was subscribed to were countdown channels. And I was like, dang, Lorenzo, like, this is it? Like, how many channels do you need to be subscribed to just watching faceless people talk about the top 10 banned Burger King meal toys? Like, how, like, really, is this what you gravitate towards? This is lame. So I unsubscribed to all of them that day. I can think of channels that I was like, countdown channels that I was subscribed to. Watch Mojo wasn't one of them, but I definitely watched some of their stuff. Yeah, people would complain about Watch Mojo being soulless, and just being creatively void and stuff like that. I personally am indifferent. I don't know. I was never following their stuff a lot, but I don't know. I think that none of the countdown channels that I watched were particularly remarkable. What differentiated Watch Mojo from the competition was their the volume of videos. What, it was like 5 videos a day. Like, you can't compete with that. Who can compete with that? Who has the resources to compete with that? What's my favorite Lego SpongeBob figure? Maybe Plankton. I love tiny stud Plankton. I have my Legos in there, but I'm not going to go look quite now. I will say I was genuinely impressed that they made a Flying Dutchman figure and a Mrs. Puff. The Mrs. Puff one's pretty cool. I was impressed, especially that they made the Flying Dutchman, people complain that that set is like really lame. It's really small. The ship's very like, very bare bones. All of the Lego SpongeBob sets were pretty bare bones. But I was just happy that they made it, period, you know? This will look better in the lighting. Shite. When I was a kid, I really wanted there to be a Lego Atlantis. Like, I mean, they did make a Lego Atlantis series, but I mean a Lego SpongeBob Atlantis SquarePantis theme set. I really wanted there to be a Lord Royal Highness figure, you know? I will say one kind of fun thing though about Brick Bob Films is because there was so many facets of the SpongeBob universe that the sets just never got into. I did had to get I had to get creative in how I would depict certain characters, making custom stuff. Like I made a custom Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. I have ideas for like a custom Man Ray. Yeah. I loved Atlantis SquarePantis when I was a kid. It was not an hour. I thought it was 20 minutes. Pretty sure it was 20 minutes. Yeah, some people say that that episode is terrible. I feel like Atlantis Square Pantis is just it's one of those episodes that you're either going to love or you're going to hate. I don't think it's particularly anything amazing. But I like that it has like the patchy segments because they don't do the patchy segments anymore, right? So actually there was this game. I reviewed this game on Clay Kremling, by the way. I did review it, called Atlantis Square Pantis Square Off. Now, if I am not mistaken, this game is lost media. You cannot find it anywhere on the internet. I mean, maybe somewhere. If any of you guys can find Atlantis Square Pantis Square Off on the internet, please let me know. I actually have this game downloaded on my computer because I had a games account when I was a really, really, really small kid. This is where I played all those Clay Kremling games. You think it's on Internet Archive? I would like to know. The only reason I got that game that I have it still is just because because I was able to sign into that old account. But if I didn't have that old account, I don't know how you would obtain it. Huh. I think this will work. I will have to look on Internet Archive later. Oops, god dang it. But if it is not there, I will see if I can find some way to upload the file. I've never done such a thing before, but it's like a genuinely really good game. Like, I'm not kidding. It's like it's a fun game. I think like I played through it either last year or the year before, and like, I mean, I'm trying to think if I like died at all in that game. Like, it's not, it's not ridiculously challenging, but when you're a kid, it's challenging enough. It was a really fun game. Wait, hold on a second. I'm gonna turn off the light. Okay, so now, welcome to Dark Lorenzo. Do with that information what you will. But we are going to. I'm gonna turn on these lights. I know things are about to get very scary. I also had an Atlantis Square Pantis game for the Nintendo DS. I played through that a lot. Oh my god. Oh my god, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Like, I just put down the light. This is completely accidental. It's like, mwah, you know? All right, we're gonna have a look. That's the thing. I don't need it to look amazing. I just need to make sure that those highlights and those shadows are in the right places. Also, I might not even use this little blue piece of paper. I think it might be too small. And that's okay, because we have my backdrop in the closet over there. Oh, by the way, I currently have my Nikon zoom lens attached to the camera, not my Rokinon 14 millimeter fisheye lens. I don't have that. Wait, hold on a second. I don't know. Okay, so here's the other thing. The lighting has to be consistent with what I filmed earlier. This clay character. Inkspot, I've seen a little bit of Celebrity Deathmatch, but I met one of the puppet makers, and I think he was also an animator. He was definitely a puppet maker. I met a puppet maker for Celebrity Deathmatch at a convention over a year ago, and I actually bought a piece from him. I talked to him and stuff like that. I'm going to show you. One sec. Here he is. I have him right here. It's like a magnet. You can't see shit. Look at that. This is made by the guy who made the puppets for Celebrity Deathmatch. Carl Paulino. This is for those of you wondering, you can especially see it on the back. This is just, sculpted by hand, silicone mold, casted in resin. I used to work with the same material. This is like beautiful. Look at this. I'm trying to see what her depth of field is like. I can always add a blur in post. Let's just take a test. Oh man. Doing this right now is like giving me flashbacks of animating Brick Bob Films last year, Brick Bob Films 2025. Oh, I had some, like towards the end of animating for Brick Bob Films, I was getting pretty worn out. Not gonna lie. But I had some really good times animating. I really did. I figure I'll have to animate at least one episode of Brick Bob Films if on stream. I don't know when I'm going to animate another episode of Brick Bob Films, but I promise you that if I do, when I do, I'm going to do it streaming. Like, I want to get people involved. I'm just looking at my other footage. Okay, so we have this kind of goldish light. Let's see. Oh, look. I can't see anything. Yeah, I was saying this the other day. I'm like, normally, yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like any color is going to look nice. Like all of these just give such different feelings, you know? I love that it's dark and light. Ooh, yeah. Now I think this is what we want to go for. Like they all look good, but we need to do the color that is consistent with the rest of the footage. So if I were to take this and oh yeah, that's going to fit right in. We still need a sky backdrop. I might also put some stuff like just fill in that gap in the middle. But yeah. Oh, maybe I wasn't. Hold on a second. I'll keep my mouth shut for a sec. Let's just get this. Let's get this lighting good first. You know what I think I'm going to do? It's kind of the annoying thing about doing stuff on a blue screen. All right. Okay, so I'm going to do a little magic trick for you guys. So the annoying thing with doing stuff on a blue screen when it comes to special lighting is that the lighting can't influence the blue screen or the green screen. So you need to have the backdrop far enough away where it's not. I just got dust over here. Jeez. So you need to have the backdrop far enough away where the lighting will not, none of the lighting is going to contaminate each other. So this isn't an editing program. This is Dragon Frame. This is an amazing stop motion software. It's the industry standard stop motion project, or stop motion software, rather. This is what they use for films and TV shows. Leica uses it. Aardman uses it. It is expensive, but if you're doing professional work, or even if you're just a hobbyist that's trying to take your work to the next level, it's a really good investment. So anyway, check this out. You see this right here? Jesus Christ. Now it's big. Thank you. We'll be here all night. This thing's pretty big. You know it. Now, a nice thing about, oh, that's table. Good to know. So a nice thing about this particular shot is because the lighting is very orange, it'll contrast well with the blue. So it'll be easier for the editing software to just key out that blue backdrop. It's distinguished enough from the rest of the environment. That white is pretty annoying. I could always cut that out if I wanted, but I think I wanted to fill it in with something anyway. Yeah, Burger Motion, if you like, I mean, I used iMovie for the longest time. So like I get it. But if you are looking to take your editing to the next level, I would recommend trying out some other softwares. That doesn't mean you have to never use iMovie again, because like iMovie, I think is easy to do a really fast, quick edit in. It's way easier to do like just a quick, rudimentary, super simple edit in iMovie than in Adobe Premiere, I feel. But if you are trying to get serious about editing, doing more ambitious edits, then yeah, you're gonna hit a ceiling pretty quickly with iMovie. I'm trying to think how I could fill that in. Yeah, Plankton's a goated character. Okay, Burger Motion. So I'm using, so this is Dragon Frame 2025, like a $300 program or a license. But that's another thing that I love about Dragon Frame is not a subscription. You buy it just the way nature intended. You can buy the freaking program, not a subscription. And then you have, then for editing, these days I'm really using Adobe Premiere. I could put this old faucet here. It could be like a vent. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Burger Motion is like it is expensive, but if you're someone like me, or if you're just like for someone like me, it's really worth it. You know, I definitely get my money's worth. I get the value from it. It's meant to be. It's meant to be for people who are more like serious about stop motion. But if you don't want to pay that hefty price tag for it, you can also probably get a really good stop motion software for cheaper, like something that'll get the job done. And I'm going to tell you right now that a lot of these tools in Dragon Frame, you're never going to touch. You just won't, you know? But if you're like me and you're like running your own little stop motion studio, you got to have Dragon Frame. You can just do so much in it. Where's that shadow? Confetti. Yeah, Burger Motion, it's like for the longest time, I never wanted to edit. Like those Brick Bob Films videos I made as a kid, I would just animate and then upload the file. I wouldn't even edit them. I've always been more of an animator. Like I'm not really into editing. Doesn't excite me. Now for animation, it can be a bit fun because you're really watching all of your work come together. But usually I just kind of find editing like like and like there are people out there that really love editing. And all I can say is more power to them. Like absolutely. But I'm definitely a person that wants to get as much done on camera as possible. So even something like this is going to require editing. But really, what I'm kind of doing is I'm taking layers of footage and just kind of putting them over each other. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, and this is something that I've said while teaching, like said to my students. It's like you can do it as much as you want. You don't necessarily need to do it. If you feel that there is something that you absolutely need editing in order to achieve, like for instance sound effects and music, then you'll do it. But a lot of those old animations that I made when I was a kid, like I didn't have audio for it. Or maybe I did have audio and it was just like it was just so rough. It was just like really just me sitting in front of my microphone trying to record it all in one take with my voice. God, there was this animated short film, this clay animation short film I made of the three little pigs. I was also inspired to make this from a YouTube video, by the way. I made it like right here, like right where I'm animating now. I made it right freaking here. And oh, this is truly a lost media. The only way I think I could ever find it is if it somehow, like, if I maybe, if my mom's old laptop, if it would power on. I don't know if the battery even works in that thing, but because the cord, we don't have the cord for it. I would love to know if it's still in there. Yeah, James, when I was a kid, I really liked the art style in the first season of SpongeBob. It's way different than the subsequent seasons. Way different from season 2 even, you know? Yes, season 1 was like truly special. Like Patrick, his skin was so pink, like it was truly pink. SpongeBob's skin was yellow. The colors popped. The animation just had like that, it had that 90s cell look to it. The first season of SpongeBob was special. It's way different than the others. Even like season 2 and 3. I wouldn't say it's funnier than season 2 and 3. It's still very ingenious and inventive. But season 1 is a special feeling. Yeah, Burger Motion, it's like that's one of the reasons why I bring up the Patreon. Gonna shout out to the Patreon again. Go become a member. You can become a member for free. That's like the other thing. It's another example of like, no one can ever really see when the rug's about to be pulled out from under them from YouTube. You never know. So I am going to be working to get more of my viewers. Like I'm still building an audience and a following here, but I also want to build a place for everybody off of YouTube. Yeah, earlier we were talking about, we were talking about competitors to YouTube at the time, none of which prevailed. And, it's like, I do think that there should be a competitor to YouTube. Like, it's not fair that like YouTube can take down a channel unjustly through their automation system. And that's like, that sounds awful, but at the same time, they have all the creators and all the traffic in the world. So, it's not a whole lot of skin off of their nose. Yeah, it would be nice, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm just going to try and keep doing my own thing in the meantime, building my following, trying to stay active in any way I can. But all things considered, I mean, hey, we're on stream number 9. You guys are here. You're asking questions. You're all engaging. And yeah, it's just, nah. Next time I do an episode of Brick Bob Films, I'm going to try and stream it. Because I have a pretty comfortable setup here too. This is a pretty easy setup for streaming. I always thought it would be much too cumbersome trying to like film me doing stop motion animation. Granted, my computer has been warm. Very warm. Maybe I would get a dedicated just computer just to kind of run the streams through at some point. But in the meantime, computer fan isn't on. Whatever. Figured I paid enough for it. Hopefully the motherboard doesn't self-destruct again like it did. God. When was that? November? Might have been November. That was the most peculiar thing. Burger Motion, it's good to have you here. If you're heading out, you have a good night. Okay, so what I'm making right now is these little shadow men. You can see that. So what I envisioned when just kind of piecing together this animation, I thought, okay, I would like these scenes to feel just a little bit more populated. I don't want this to look empty. I want there to be stuff going on in the background so it doesn't look so flat. I don't think I have little areas where these characters can run through. Anyway, they don't have to be detailed. They don't have to look pretty. Just having something in the background to add more life to the scene should be good. I'm going to have these guys be very chattery, filmed fast, filmed on ones. This is not meant to look pretty, but that's okay. Because this project has got to get done. I'm going to say it right now. I don't want to be working on this till the end of the month. But you know what? It's just like being able to do this in a stream with you guys has made it, I will say, has made it a lot more fun. Because yeah, it's like every other animation that I've ever made, it's always been like, all right, Lorenzo, it's going to be you in the material. That's it, nothing else. But getting you guys involved, and like we've had a good amount of constant concurrent viewers in these streams. So I'm really excited to share this model with more of my fans over on Brick Bob Films. And I love that people can rewatch these recordings. There we go. Oops. Just going to move that just so the plastic wrap doesn't cause any interference. Yeah. Buck Brothers, could you elaborate? It's relatable. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Good to hear from you. Yeah, I want to get like people running. Let's see if I can move this just a little, just so I can have a little space. You're good, James. See ya. I think I'm going to take about 10 frames without the people, and then I'll add them in just in case I don't like how it looks. Yeah, with these, with clay animation like this, or I guess stop motion in general, you always got to think ahead or behind, or you never know. I never did paper very much. Figures definitely, but yeah, I was never into like cutting out paper, making paper dolls and stuff like that. Just like it's clay is very difficult to make look good, and there's so many caveats to it. But I've just been working with it for so long, and there's not a ton of animators that I guess have the visual look that I do. Like the just little details. I don't know. It's, I guess, kind of like the clay fightery type stuff. Make sure that's on. Oh, I don't think I would do a California Raisins remake. That was already done in like the best clay animation possible, right? I think it would be cool to see what it would look, what a modern California Raisins commercial would look like. But it's probably not going to happen. It's a shame. I think that would be pretty cool to see. But for all we know, California Raisins would probably get AI to generate it. But something that I want to get into more is doing original characters. Because like YouTube's been great, but I wanna see other I wanna find other distribution avenues for my animations, you know? Maybe do a film festival again. I haven't done a film festival since I was what, 16? Yeah, I was 16. What's on Newgrounds that's not on YouTube? We have talked about Newgrounds a bit, but like, but I'm curious to hear like, what would you say about Newgrounds? Like, really, what do they have that YouTube doesn't? I don't know what a syndicate is. I've heard the word, but I don't off the top of my head remember what it is. Oh, some like friendly competition on Newgrounds. Oh, okay. Sticky tack, laminated. I don't even. This is probably not even gonna look good, but that's okay. I think he's moving too much. That's what's going on. It's too frantic. We are at 24 frames per second. I have to do it like so. And, yeah, it's fun. Animating at this weird angle is kind of messing with me, though. This whole setup was not designed for moving characters through, so I'm just feeling it out. These little shadow people kind of remind me of Clay World, which was another very inspirational series when I was a kid, early YouTube. Actually, the guy that made Clay World, he started out on Newgrounds. I think some of the earliest uploads on his channel were they were just re-uploads from Newgrounds. Yeah, so one of my favorite animators, Adam Elliott, he actually made a feature film, like a clay animation feature film, just recently. He made Mary and Max, if any of you guys know that film. Probably one of the best stop motion films I think I've ever seen. So amazing. This guy's like a complete genius, and he's still doing the clay animation thing. And if you look at some of his old works from when he was about my age at this point, he would work with these just lumpy character models. And like the characters are so like crude, like they're so clearly Play-Doh. The animation is not pretty. It's very tactile. It's very raw, and it's just so ingenious. And the writing, like the way that this guy managed to figure out how to tell a very in-depth, personable human story with clay animation in as little time as possible is like genuinely amazing. He was like one of the biggest inspirations for me to start making my own original stop motion films. Because I began my career from what's going on? Oh yeah, because I began my career remaking stuff that I grew up with, like SpongeBob or Clay Fighter, stuff from movies, Mesozoic Mind, Jasper and a Jam, and Let's Make Music Together from All Dogs Go to Heaven. Just the other stuff that I made like in the very early, like the 2017 era of this channel. And like, of course, the animation, all these models, all these things, they're all made by me. It's clearly not made by a team. But I think I do some pretty solid work. And I can get some pretty decent stuff despite me animating with these like little lumpy, crude blobs of clay. Like, look at what we're making right now. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing things with the lighting. I enjoy finding little inventive ways to bring the visual to life. Yeah, I know that trivia too. Huh. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure. So the Let's Make Music Together clay animation that I made, gosh, that was like December 2016. That was like a month. That was like the month or a month after I ended Brick Bob Films. I made that animation, and that was like my first ever animation where I was doing lip sync, and I did it to music. So the big lipped alligator in that animation, his mouth is enormous, and I think I animated it 15 frames per second. Yeah, I animated to the music, and I just had a lot of fun like getting those mouth movements in. And then I did an evolution of that, a more complicated evolution with the Mesozoic Mind claymation. Oh man, that's one that I'll have to revisit. There's just so much work that I want to revisit in the form of YouTube content, but the idea of doing it on stream, I think, could be a lot of fun. Like, that's the thing, there's so many different layers to animation in the fascination. Like, yeah, the end product, the animation's like great and all, like awesome, great. But like seeing how it was made, seeing what the conditions are like, seeing the artists involved, seeing the pre-dev, like pre-visualization, pre-production, the production itself, and then looking at it all in hindsight, like all of these stages of the animation production process are so fascinating and so inspiring that I want to keep just kind of getting into it with all of you guys and sharing it with all you guys. Next time is going to be our 10th stream. You believe it? These blob people, these shadow people that I'm animating right now, let me show you what they look like again. I don't even know if you can see. I'm sorry, they're very, very small. And the closer I get to the camera, the less light there is. But these blob people remind me of the little clay Play-Doh people from The Adventures of Mark Twain. The ones that build the little kingdom, the little village, and then all come to life and then get destroyed by Satan. When will what be? Yeah. I love seeing, like, I'm animating a layer underneath a layer of another animation that I also made on stream while streaming. And we have hit 2 hours. I think I'm going to end the stream soon. Because, yeah, we've hit 2 hours. I think 2 hours has been kind of a good number so far. But as time goes on, we might go longer when we get more people. But yeah, so right now I'm like still trying to figure out a good streaming schedule. I have not figured it out yet. I would like to maybe try and do a stream like someday on the weekend, maybe Sunday, because I'm usually busy Fridays and Saturdays. But like, just I might also try and see about spacing out my streams where I don't stream consecutive days. I might do it every other day. But I figure in the meantime, even if I don't know, yo, enjoy those tater tots. Have a good night. But I figure that in the meantime, like just having any little streaming schedule, period, is better than not streaming at all or being sporadic. I like being able to release a schedule to you guys, and then you guys can know ahead of time, okay, these are the days I'm streaming. But I also get that maybe not everyone would want to be watching me multiple nights in a row. Or maybe some of you do, but yeah, either way, I would like some kind of a schedule just so you guys know. And I'm really excited for like the idea of you guys can all come on this journey with me. We can go on this journey together of making the animation. But watching the final thing that's the event. It's not the content. That is the event. Everything leading up to that release is the content. How's this even looking so far? Yeah. Look at that. You see? Look at that. Hey, that's so fun. I like that. It populates the scene just a little bit extra. Wait, hold on a second. Like I could just repeat these frames. Like I don't have to film more, but think I might just do another little run cycle. Don't you love it when the vision that's in your head just executes exactly the way you expected? Don't you love it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what the what? Symbiote? I'm really dumb. I can't read. But I know who Eddie Brock and Venom are. Yeah, I'm not like a Marvel guy. But when I was a kid, I thought Venom looked so cool. Like he's so scary. He's like a big silly like shadow person with giant teeth. Like he's so cool looking. But still, I was never inspired to watch like the Venom movies that came out. They made 3 of those. 3. And I remember like people didn't even like the first one. Or well, critics didn't like it. It didn't get very good reviews. Yeah, when I was a kid and the first Avengers movie came out, I'll never like I still just have flashbacks to seeing the first Avengers movie. That movie, I went to see the Avengers movie because everyone saw it. It was just such a big hit. And the theater was so full that the only place that I could sit down, I must have been like, 10? The only place that I could sit down with my family was like the second row from the front. Just imagine going to see the Avengers. That's like a 3-hour movie, almost 3 hours, all that action. Having your nose pressed up against the movie screen in the theater. It sucked. Then I had a friend that had like a birthday party, and we all watched it at his birthday party. But yeah, I comic books was just like a thing that I never really got into. That's a shame because it's like people get really attached and connected with these comic book characters. But then you have like, I remember the DC films were like really struggling. And I remember when Justice League came out, when like 2017, I would see clips of people talking about it on YouTube. And I'm looking at the clips and it looked so unbelievably bad. Like the special effects looked like a movie from, I'm not even kidding, like 2005. Yeah, I can't imagine the amount of frustration that must go on with these comic book fans. Like, oh my gosh. But yeah, it was just something I never really got into. I mean, I watched the Spider-Verse movies, and even then, I'm not crazy about those. I think the animation's great, but it's just I get pretty bored with the whole superhero thing because it's so familiar. Now I am watching something right now that's superhero related. I'm watching Invincible finally. So I did see Invincible when it came out. First season. I thought it was fine. But, nowadays, like, I mean, I guess you always had to wait. But yeah, by the time a new season of a show comes out, I've already moved on. You know what I mean? But yeah, about Venom. Well, actually, we'll just say about Invincible. I'm on the 4th season right now, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. But yeah, but back to Venom. I was a teenager and that movie came out, and I had like one of my friends texted me one day just randomly, and he was like, "Yo, do you want to watch Venom?" I'm like, "Venom? No. Why?" And he's like, "Do you want to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp?" And I just say to him like, "What's up?" Because he knew them. I'm not into those movies very much. And then he sent me a link to an adult site where Venom and Ant-Man and the Wasp and a few other Marvel movies were uploaded, and they were uploaded at, like, I'm not kidding, like 4K quality, like beautiful, crystal clear quality, whole movie. And I didn't watch them, but I was like, that's so funny. Yeah, on YouTube, I mean, YouTube's really good about making sure that copyrighted material is like taken down. But just last week, I got recommended an upload for like some person uploaded the entirety of Monsters Inc. to their YouTube channel. And it's in good quality too. And I look at the upload date and it says like it was uploaded like 13 years ago. And I'm like, is someone like finding loopholes to like edit an old upload and put in an entire film? Like, how could this just be? Why is this getting recommended to me now? Very, very bizarre. Yeah, James, I mean, I watched the Dark Knight trilogy, you call it. I don't know if all of those are Christopher Nolan films, but those were good, I thought. I was not watching them as they were coming out, though. I just watched them, like, I don't know, maybe during COVID or something. Oh my gosh. I was and am obsessed with Bane and his silly voice. Oh my gosh. I don't know if that was a thing that like Bane was supposed to sound like that before Dark Knight Rises came out, but I love it so much. It's so hilarious. Brilliant character work. I need to watch the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. I never saw those. Never. Only Spider-Man movies I've ever seen was Spider-Verse and Spider-Verse 2. And even then I'm just kind of like, like I tried rewatching Spider-Verse recently, and like this is going to sound crazy because people like it's one of the most influential animated films of our time. It was a pioneering film, and it set like a new standard for what 3D animated movies could be. I respect it on all those fronts. I'm really glad that it won an Oscar, and I was so annoyed that Aquaman, of all things, made more money at the box office because that just looked like garbage. I don't know if it's actually good, but yeah, I don't know. I just kind of get a little bored with the whole superhero thing. I know I sound like, call me a contrarian or whatever, but I don't know. Just I never really quite gelled with the characters of Spider-Verse the way everyone else did. I like Miles Morales, and like everyone else, every other character in the movie is like good. Like I don't have any complaints. I don't think it's bad. There's just something about it on a visceral level that just doesn't connect or it doesn't really get me, I guess. Even then, like something like Invincible, which is also, superhero genre, it has just I didn't find it initially particularly appealing because it's so familiar at the start, all the tropes of a superhero universe. But I found that, after giving it some time, like I like some of the mythology in there. There's the writers clearly have a respect for the characters, but most of all, like overall, the way the show kind of unfolds in the plot, it reminds me of like Dragon Ball Z if the writing wasn't absolute garbage. Because I've talked about how like Dragon Ball Z, love the characters, love the universe, super nostalgic, distinctive art style, great mythology, great lore, but the writing so horrible that I could never make it all the way through Dragon Ball Z. Could never. Spider-Man Brand New Day, is that a live action? Because I remember they were, the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies were also coming out, but I never watched any of those. All right, I think we have more than enough frames, but that should be good. Oh, there's this episode of Brick Bob Films that is in my head. I have not filmed it yet, but I've mentioned this before. I did get like some lines recorded by a guest star. I got some lines recorded for it. It was going to come out December last year, but I just ran out of time. But I have like this whole clay animation vision for it. You guys don't even know. You don't even know what I have in store. But just working on this right now is making me think of that. God dang it. And let's just have a look. I think that we've done it. Yeah, I mean, it populates the scene just a little bit more. And I like it's actually done on camera. It's so goofy looking, but it doesn't matter. They're just meant to be extras anyway. Yeah, so I do want to check out Dragon Ball Z Kai. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But I have heard that it's like a more condensed version of Dragon Ball Z. But anyway, I'm going to call the stream here. We've been going for almost 2.5 hours, but we've done it, Visited some old stuff, shot a scene, and yeah, I think I just, just taking it day by day. But yeah, so this is going to be the last stream for the week, but stay updated, stay tuned on this channel. Remember to drop a like before you leave. Also, check out the Patreon. You can join for free. Link up with me there. Be a part of the inner circle. I'll see you guys soon. When I have more streams planned, I will put them on the post tab for my channel. So stay tuned for that. You guys have a good night. Have a good one. This is Lorenzo signing off.